Good morning, Reed here. Thanks for joining me for my morning walkabout at Orchestra Farm. So if you've been watching the channel for a moment now, you'll know that I've been taking a class in business and integrating AI with that, kind of to help take away some of the parts of business that aren't as fun and to lean it out so that way it is working better. And this year I've been putting a lot of effort into upgrading my whole scenario. This is so fascinating. So I've got the ground here where I came in and brought all that material you can see spread out there. But look how just dead-end it is from where the tires were. I'm so curious as to might be on those tires for the ground to be like that. That process maybe took an hour. It's a serious impact. Anyway, with all this business related stuff I was just communicating around, it's fascinating for me how I'm actually hung up with my business for waiting for confirmations. For some reason, my website did not get confirmed for my email list provider, and I finally got my email sorted out for that. And then my course, we're ideally today, we're bringing what we have to the public. And I'm sure I will do that. But I really wanted to have these other pieces happening. And so there's a bit of that feeling of being behind where I want to be. And the recognition of, maybe there is more that I could have done to be fully prepared at this juncture. And a recognition of those back and behind the scenes pieces are both so totally important. They often will take longer than I would like them to take. Okay, this greenhouse is becoming madness. Weeks ago, the person who's supposed to be in charge of it said they would come in here and string up all these tomatoes and prune them. And it has been done. And you might ask, Reed, what do you want to do with this farm here? And if I had my way, it would actually be berries, like the raspberries you see over there, the blueberries over yonder, more josta berries, and the elderberry, which, look at that gorgeous bush there, huh? It is just loaded with berries and more flowers. And then I want a success into the trees, so you can see, I can't actually see what's happening on the thing, but this is a hickory, I'm sure it's in the camera, and it's put on so much epic growth. You can see the pecan over there, so much epic growth. And these are walnuts, which are super happy in pots, but they're towed into the ground, so they have for real burst through those pots. And with the idea of, you'll have berry production right now. Oh yeah, and let's not forget the pawpaw. I am on. But that's what I'd want to see happening here. And then as the berry success out, all these nut trees and elderberries and things and pawpaws are there to take over. And in business, there's that notion of, there's a succession of activities that need to happen. And if you get them out of order, it just screws up the whole thing. Yeah, even this greenhouse, it's yes, they're all strung up, but there's so much pruning that needs to happen that's not taking place. There's just so much work to do tomatoes. And so that's where I'm finding myself in this moment, is that my course I'm in is cranking along. I spent a good chunk of my yesterday, thank goodness my mother-in-law is in town right now, so I was able to let her be with my son. My other two kids were either in camp or with friends, and just chugged along, organized a whole bunch of the back end stuff, and prepped it for once these confirmations have happened about my website and such, I can literally just push the go ahead button, and all these other pieces I've been working on then launch. But ideally I would have done a lot of this back end stuff first, so that once I finished the things that I want to launch, it's all set to go. And one of my questions for myself is, why didn't I have that organized in that best way? Why am I feeling behind the 8 ball with it now as I'm trying to launch things and having to be patient for confirmations to come through? Is there a self-defeating aspect of myself? Is there a sabotage type aspect of myself? Is this simply a learning curve that I wasn't aware enough of to get in front of it? All those are questions I could be asking. And those questions are good to ask. The other piece is move forward. See what the obstacle is, acknowledge it, and decide how to accomplish the challenge. And so that's what I spent yesterday doing, was working through that, aiming to succeed, and got to this place of, I need this next level confirmation, and it's going to take 24 hours. So I won't even find out until sometime, ideally today. And that's just what it is. And sometimes you have to be patient for things. Me, that is. I need to be patient. And recognize that it's both happening in a perfect flow, and that I want to do everything within my power to keep it progressing. So with that, I'm going to share a couple things here right now, which is, if you go to my website, by this point, everything ought to be moving forward, because I'm releasing this video in the future. So at bendingreeds.com, I'm going to be hosting a Zoom call for Grounding the Creative, which is a workshop that I did last year, and I'm planning on doing it again in person this year. But I'm taking it from being a 4 to 6 hour long workshop down to an hour long condensed version for online purposes. And if you've ever wanted to, have a creative practice and you've struggled with it, or you have difficulty in finishing creative works and things like that, this is a great workshop for you. So come by there, look on my events page, I believe that's where it's located, and sign up for that. Also, you can find my book, Ruminations, and I've got a few copies on hand that I can send out. If you want to buy that, that would be great. I'll be reading some of my recent writings soon. And then I've got an album that's going to be released probably in October or late September. There will be some video teasers of that coming out soon. And I'm going to see about putting up a pre-purchase thing for that on my website. Well, those are a bunch of different ways to support me and to grow with yourself. Oh, that's an interesting thing there. And that would be amazing. Also, again, on my website, my wife and I have our tea practice that we do every day, and I've created a tea ritual guide to help you develop that time and space to center and become present, to engage in conversation with people that you care about. So if you'd like that, that's a free downloadable PDF available on my website as well. With that, thanks for watching. I hope that you're all having too much fun.